Well, it's a little bit after 7:30 p.m. on Friday, June 23rd, 2023. And I decided, I would just go ahead and get out here for a little while dinner was cooking with the brush cutter. And man, it's like a jungle back here. Some of these thistles that are left are shorter than what I've been whacking down up here, but when I actually step down in here, these are like chest high on me. These thistles, I know it don't show up real good on camera how big these things are, but I got some situations going. There's a dead plum tree in that cage, but over there I've got one of my prune trees, my only living prune tree since my others got savaged by the deer, so I gotta go free that. And I got some stinging nettle adventure that I also gotta get through while I'm over there, so I might go ahead and put on I don't know, we'll see if I need to put on a sweater or not to get through that. But these are how my pears are coming along. They got bugs, it looks like, bug bitten. So, nothing up in here has been, let me look at my screen and see. Yeah, so back up over here, I got a little bug bite on my pear. So I have Danju pear, and the other one, I have the tags somewhere. I think it might be a French varietal, but it looks like that one has very little fruit. I think these are going to be bigger trees, but I put these in even before I moved here. I put these two pear trees in, and they were quite tall, from the Home Depot. Well, at least one of them this one I got from Home Depot. And it did have some deer savaging issues, but because I never caged these, but they were quite big. And I don't know if anything's going to be any good off of them or not. But I got to venture all the way down through here. No, further back on the hill. There's like bumps because I had dug pathways in through it because I thought, oh, I'm going to make it all nice. But I never landscape fabriced it because I was going to have little islands of plantings with pathways around it. And it just didn't work out. But, I'm going to be digging out that area for my greenhouse eventually anyway. So I'm just going to kind of try to keep it a little less jungle in the meantime. Because I've never actually sprayed my apple trees, but this jungle isn't helping me with my worm situation. So, let's see. So these I really got to pick through. I've got another apple tree that has much smaller apples on it, but it gets much fewer worms. And then so these I got to kind of go through them, cut out the bites, and then I have this little thing that I can core them onto, and I spin it around and it peels them and slices them. But it's still a lot of work picking through these. I think one day I'm going to try to get to making apple cider vinegar with these, but even though I'm kind of a anti-chemical person, I think I am actually going to spray these one day. Probably, I don't know, I guess maybe that happens in fall. If it's the same as peaches, it's Thanksgiving time. So anyways, you can kind of see where the deer cut a path through there, but a while ago, or maybe something shorter. But yeah, it's basically just a jungle down here, so I'm gonna eat and then see how much light I have left. Well, I'll probably stop the noise at around 9:30 or so, but yeah, it's pretty intense. I was gonna try to use my string trimmer, but I've got thistles and burdocks, and my string got a little cut up, and I fixed it, but this stuff is too crazy. And then the grass is pretty long and it's quite moist because of the sprinkling earlier. So it was getting wrapped up around the string trimmer, whereas the brush cutter will just cut right all through this. Then I have to be careful because right down past those stinging nettles somewhere, there's a big it just drops. So at some point I got to put in posts at the end of where the drop off is. Because can you imagine if someone was trying to get a brush hog or a mower in through here and they aren't familiar with the property, they would just, if they were mowing over here, they would just fall right into a ditch. So it would be no good. But anyways, let's see what my pears got going on. Or well, this is a plum. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Now my cages are a little bit off the ground. So it's kind of nice because where the posts are, I can get my brush cutter in through there to get a little bit of the stuff up next to the tree, but not all that much. So anyways, it's crazy. Like if I actually stand down here, these grass seeds are like well above my head. This is like 6'2", maybe 6'2" or so, 6'5", maybe even as high as, because it's further down the hill even. So these grasses I was mentioning, they get a little bit purple looking. These ones that are further back in here, well, even these you can see they're a little bit purple. So they are super beautiful, just this ocean of purple seed heads, but you know, something's got to give. And eventually this is going to be forage space for my geese and my ducks, and it does get a little bit mucky down in there. So basically, if I wanted to extend my orchard further down, I would have to put the trees in mounds. And I've thought about doing that someday, but in a further apart spacing so that I'll still have good forage grass for my geese. Because eventually I want to be getting to a point where I can keep like 50 geese maybe, even though not like, it wouldn't be that number throughout the year because I'd be selling them. But we'll see how it goes. Anyways, I had to come out here and take this video because my food got done cooking and I'm so starving. I was like, okay, I'm gonna plate this up and I have to walk away and do something else. Otherwise I'm gonna burn my mouth so bad like I did the other night. So I'm gonna recommence after I eat. Well, goodness, I didn't get that much more done down here after dinner so far. See, this is eye level, this grass. I'm kind of down on the pathway. Now I gotta be careful because right on the edge of here is where the water comes out. So I can imagine if somebody was trying to mow all of these hills and they didn't know this property, it would be a nightmare. So anyways, I started to get down in here. And again, I actually kind of dug this out a little bit because I was going to have these pathways, and then I was going to like pop a tree in here or like a fruiting bush and kind of have it like step down, but then also have it be that when I get heavy rains, it kind of helps capture some of the water in this. But, you know, it's not wide enough to get my mower through, and I did this very early before I got that old mower, that 1996 Ranch King, the riding mower that was free in my garage, that was all busted. I started digging this stuff before I fixed that up, and I wasn't thinking about mower width pathways. So I would either need to widen it for the mower, or I'm just going to smooth this out if I end up not putting in my greenhouse in here. And then taking this dirt and putting it as fill to lift up some of that area. And then I'll actually be able to extend my orchard down in here, and I'll show you what I did. I was just digging ditches like a fiend when I got here, and some people will be like, that's illegal, given how my property is situated, but it just is what it is. It ain't like anybody told me it was illegal. So it either is or it isn't, I don't know, but that's what I did. I dug some ditches and I had it split so that the water didn't just all shoot out and turn this all into muck, but I had it actually split so that, and I could re-split it so that when the water is really high, that it actually comes along through a channel down through this property, down over here. But I blocked that waterway back up. So there's a ditch that goes all down to my mature apple tree there and then curves back around to that willow and to where that spring is over there. But anyways, I've done a lot of digging, and I thought, you know, I didn't really understand because like the grass was so high. I didn't understand that this middle here is a spring bed and I can't get it unsoggy because the water just shoots, it just bubbles up out of the ground all through there. So I didn't really understand quite yet the details of this property because some of it was being hidden by the tall grass when I got started. Because even when I first got here, it was all dead grass that was like falling over because I bought this place at basically the end of winter 5 years ago or so. But anyways, I've been getting in through here and I opened up this cage a little bit. But yeah, well, I guess I want to just show you real quick. Because I meant to and I didn't. So before I forget, I'm just gonna backtrack that, like, so when I'm down just here on this path, okay, when I look eye level, this is where I am eye level, like boom. And like it's just a few feet above the ground because this actually sinks down quite a bit. And all these grasses, even that I've been through, some of them are very deceptive because even with the brush cutter from the sprinkles, it's too wet to get them down by the base. I got to do it in stages, and even then, a lot of the grass and the weeds are still too wet down by the base because they've been shaded after the sprinkles. So this grass is serious stuff, but there used to be pigs that would forage through here. They used to raise pigs here. Okay, so this puts off like a lot of mass, this grass, and I'm assuming they seeded it for pig forage, but I don't really know. So again, this is eye level for me right now, is like this, okay? And then I got this thing that is all the way, is easily a foot above eye level. So that thing is about 6'8" or so. Okay, some of these are 6'8". A couple of them look like they're actually 7 foot tall. So this is about how tall my greater sea kale should get when it's mature, hopefully, and we'll see how that goes. But, you know, this is me kind of eye level right here is how much further down I'm in. So that's why I was thinking if I dug out the greenhouse and then moved that dirt that I dug out forward for the southern wall, I could maybe grow some jujubes in there because my jujubes didn't quite make it, I mentioned before. So anyways, I'll show you how I do my cages real quick. I cut them so that when I cut the one end, I leave this bit of wire over, and then I take some pliers and I bend it over. And then so after I put my posts in and stuff, and I measure how much caging I need, and sometimes it's not perfect. So I've unzipped, quote unquote, I've undone these hooks because I got in there to pull out some stuff. But I am done with that for tonight so these grasses, you can't even, if you try to pull these up without gloves on, they'll cut your hand. I don't know if someone said they were called cut grass even or something, but they'll cut your hand, they'll cut your fingers. So you've got to wear gloves when you pull them, and then some of them don't come out real easy. So I gotta get some clippers in through here or get the string trimmer back up. But I might just get some clippers, put some weed cloth. So I think because this tree is so neglected, because I mean, look at it, this whole side, there's nothing green growing over here. I just got this little bit over here going on. I bought this tree from the county, so unfortunately I can't sell propagations of this, I believe. But I don't think I'm barred from propagating it for my own personal use on my own property. So they do have slightly better deals, but I just happened to buy this prune tree off of here. And then we got some little critter business. You can't see it very well, it's all right. We'll give them privacy anyways. But it's just funny, I guess it's that time of year. But I tried to start getting by the apple trees, but man, I ran out of steam. And again, some of this stuff, well this is thigh high, this grass right in here, because I just kind of try to get it out of the cage, so it's a jungle. But just down past here, you can see where it's a little bit shorter. That's where my ditch runs, I think. And then down in here, I don't know what is down here. Oh shoot, I got an old hamper down in here I probably brought some dried grass or something. I was wondering, I thought maybe it was a log because we had some logs wash up when the flood came through. But yeah, it looks like I got an old hamper that I was hauling dried grass around in. But you know, it's obviously crazy, and it's a place that would require very heavy weed cloth and very heavy mulching, not just some dried grass to keep this under control. So, because I used to have my giant asparagus up over here, and I just couldn't keep this area under control, so I dug it up and I moved it over to where it is now. And I did lose some plants down in here because it's like, man, if you take your eyes off of it for a minute, it's just all chaos. So that's why I wanted to get through here, at least for the preliminary, because all these thistles, and I know I'm kind of babbling on at this point, they're kind of a little further up here. All these thistles have got flowers coming in on them, a lot of them. And what'll happen, these little flower buds is I can tell myself, well, I'll just get them before they go to seed. But sometimes it's like you get a bunch of other stuff stack up, and then like 2 weeks later, you got thistle seeds all over your property. So I'm like, okay, right now they're demanding to be cut down. So I got some others that I got to get to before they flower, even ideally, because I don't want to put it off to the last minute. Otherwise, I end up with entire jungles of thistles. So anyways, these stinging nettles, man, I took off the cage and was pulling stuff out of there, and one hit me in the face, and they can be uncomfortable little plants. But they are also some of the most nutritious plants out there. What you do though is you pick them when they're real little, and then you just like saute them real lightly or something. But these stinging nettles are legit. I mean, I think they have medicinal properties as well, but they get huge. But right early in the season, when they just start popping up, you pick some of them and stir fry them, and they're tasty. They taste like green beans. So they're really great, and I'm happy that I have them on my property, but I definitely have to work hard to keep them under control. Because again, people talk about the zombie apocalypse, and I don't need a zombie apocalypse to enjoy some baby stinging nettle shoots, because they're tasty. Again, they come in way before the green beans will come in, and they're pretty good. But people talk about the zombie apocalypse, and that's one of the things, someone is probably not going to know to go pouring through your property for your stinging nettles in the zombie apocalypse. But anyways, yeah, these are bothersome, and not without their benefits, but man, I just can't. And look at these burdocks. It's crazy under here. It's super crazy, but it kind of meanders in through here. And then at the end here is the bottom of what was my garlic field that I am gonna have a salvage operation on, and then a nematode fungus testing operation on. But as you can see, not all of my garlic field is going to be salvageable, because it came down all the way through here to the bottom, and all I see is nettles and a whole forest of burdocks. And I think I'm about to get some burdock seeds stuck in my hair right now. Oh no, I'm safe for now. Sometimes I see that Josephine's got burdocks stuck up on her, and then I laugh, and then later that day, inevitably, I end up getting a couple stuck in my hair. You kind of have to like pull them apart to get them out. So it's funny, she kind of has to bite them off and then spit them out, the little burdocks seeds. Terrible little, but look at this. It just sticks right to your skin. I showed you guys this before. It just sticks. It's crazy stuff. Nature's Velcro. It's pretty awesome and horrifying. Anyways, I don't know if I have it in me. I only have a little bit of gas left for my brush cutter, because I'm trying to use up all the old stuff first. But I think, man, I know I'm not going to be able to get those apple trees freed up tonight. I just don't have it in me, because I was out doing the weeding and the bean patch today. So I don't know. I guess I just wanted to get some of this done for beginning salvage operations on my plum tree and getting under control from the bugs and getting it safe for my mower, because I also have to look through. There's a couple of big rocks that are stuck in the ground that have been here that I never dug up, and I usually just mow around them, because my blade will catch up on it if I'm not careful. So I have to go through and find that thing, and I think there's also a cement block stuck in the ground somewhere that I gotta find and locate. So my mower, it goes through a lot sometimes, I guess. But yeah, eventually this is gonna be cleared up. I gotta actually try to get all of this, the whole thing, brush cut before my geese come in, because I wanted to be putting up younger grass again, because they can't, obviously my geese can't eat this crazy, stemmy, hardened, 7-foot tall grass. They need it to be pretty short and tender. So I've got to get this all waxed down so that I can start bringing my geese over here to eat. so that they understand we can come here and we eat, and we're going to teach our children to come over here and eat. So I have to make a bigger commitment to keeping this space freed up. I don't know how I'm going to do. I will do a little bit of habitat blocks in through here, which I feel like is important for the bird population and things like that. So we'll see how that goes. I need to have it at least freed up enough that that the raccoons can't sneak up on them, and that they have some tender grass to eat. So usually what happens is when it gets dry, even when this crazy stuff is this tall, even when the ground is a little bit mucky but the grass isn't too wet at the base, I can actually get my mower through this 7-foot tall stuff. I just have to step it real careful. I just bump it forward, it cuts the grass, I bump it forward, cuts the grass, and then shoots it out. But I have to like tamp down aside for the grass to be able to blow out of the mower. And it ends up being a little bit of a challenge, and right now I can only turn my mower in one direction because there's a steering couplage issue on this thing. I mean, it's a 1996, so, and it's been through an awful lot. But I'm rambling now. I was gonna try to commit to coming back out here with a brush cutter, but I think I'm just gonna put it away. I'm done for tonight, you guys. Take it easy. I may be done, but the Josephine is never done. Okay, say bye to everybody, Josephine.